Let me just start this off by saying that I am sorry if I'm not as energetic as I usually am. I kind of feel a little bit out of it today, so I apologize if, like I said, I'm not as energetic and all of that. But we do have a new step up slash banner. Well, step up banner plus normal banner, you guys know. So what is on this banner OP? This is the banner that was actually brought back with the Feena and Regulus rerun event, which also is a really good event. Make sure you farm that event, by the way. But Hero Fest Infinity, the step up summon, is actually, no lie, really good. If you're a new or old player and you do not have these units, this banner is actually really god tier. Probably not as good, of course, as like the Blood Knight banner where all the Blood Knights are on the banner, but this banner is definitely up there for one of the best banners in GS. Kind of crazy too how they release it after Kill a Kill and not before Kill a Kill. So let's talk about it. Who's all on the banner OP? We have Ashe, Regulus, Feena, Finn, Rim, Jack, and Anna. So just by those right there, for people who actually know what these units do, you guys instantly can tell that this banner is extremely good. So let's cover the units because some of you guys may not actually know who they are because some of you may be new from the Kill a Kill event or the case may be. So Awoken Ashe is the first one. This guy looks like Ezio Auditore. His skill is 2000% dark damage physical, chance of blinding enemy, increase own arc gauge by 3, 5-second cooldown, 800 break. Normal art is 1900% dark damage physical, reduce enemies blind resist by 35% for 13 seconds. True art is 30,000% dark damage physical and reduce enemies arc gauge by 40 and increase damage to enemies by 50% and reduce enemies action speed by 30% for 15 seconds, 4,300 break. His slots are 5-star physical, 5-star magic, and 4-star magic. His abilities are Fatal Blow level 3, Execute Assassin level 6, and Critical when blind. So these kind of explain themselves. Fatal Blow is increased to crit damage. Execute Assassination level 6 is whenever anybody apart from a boss is below 30% in health, Ashe does increase damage to them. I think it's 300%. And then Critical when blind, since Ashe can blind with most of his stuff, of course, he can crit whenever he blind. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to come back to all of them because I have a lot to say and I want to cover all the units, what they do, and then I'll come back and talk about each of my thoughts on them. Hades Knight Emperor Regulus. This is the boy Regulus, the OG Vox, I want to say. This guy was the one to first shake up the meta. So his skill is 2200% dark damage physical, lifesteal by 5% of the damage, 9-second cooldown, 1250 break. Normal art is 10,850% dark damage physical, increase all allies crit rate by 50% for 5 seconds. And then his true art is 25,550% dark damage physical, increase all allies crit rate by 100% for 8 seconds. If the enemy is light damage times 1.5, break 3,800. His abilities are Dark Elemental Master and Light Resist level 6, and his equipment is 5-star physical, 5-star magic, and 4-star heal. The goddess Feena, also someone else who shook up the meta whenever she was awoken. Her skill is 2,600% light damage magic, auto recovery of own HP, cooldowns 9 seconds, break 1,000. Normal art is 11,500% light damage magic, negates all ally stats elements for 10 seconds except feint. Her true art is 22,500% light damage magic, heals and evades all ally stats elements except feint, and HP auto recovery by 300 for 20 seconds. Her first ability, Divine Light, is an ability that allows her to, as long as she's above 80% health, if I'm not mistaken, she is completely immune to every status effect except feint. Prey is the next one. She'll instantly revive someone who goes down. Demon Killer is the last one, and then her abilities, or let me say her slots, and her slots are as follows: 5-star magic, 5-star physical, and 4-star support. Awoken Finn doesn't need any introduction, so I'm just going to skip him because we all know he's one of the best art gen slash support units in this entire game, and still is even in the Japanese version of the game. Awoken Rim is the next unit. Her skill is 2000% dark damage magic, increase BE output from own skill by 50%, cooldown 10 seconds, break 880. Her normal art is 13,000% dark damage magic, increase damage of enemies weak elemental by 40% and reduce enemies attack and defense by 35% for 15 seconds. True art is 25,000% dark damage magic. If enemy is light, increase own true art damage by 100%, break 3,000. Her abilities are kind of confusing, so pretty much put it simple, the main one that a lot of people probably ask you about is Astrology, and that's the one that I'm really going to cover. Astrology, whatever daily dungeon, so let's say if it's light day, she will deal more damage either to light units or she will receive less damage from light units, and this applies to your entire team. It corresponds with each of the daily dungeons. People have entire breakdowns of what each of them are and all that, so you can look at those somewhere online. And the last two is Ninja Machina Jax, and then of course Anna. I'm not really going to break these two down because they're not anything crazy. Jack pretty much has a really cool mechanic where he can turn people into treasure boxes, and if you kill said treasure boxes, you increase your BE output by 80%, so he gets a ton, and I mean a ton of BE, so you're able to fill your art gauge like that. kind of a pseudo art gener, I want to say. And then Anna overall is just pretty much a burn unit. I think she's really good for the plant boss, kind of what she's made for, because her normal art increases all allies poison resist by 80% for 7 seconds. You reduce enemies burn resist with your skill, and then of course with your true art you have a high chance of burning. Overall, just a really strong burn unit and really good if you want her for mono fire and you're trying to burn a boss. So now let's talk about my thoughts on each unit. So Awoken Ashe, like I said, I love this guy because he looks like Ezio Auditore, and personally I feel like he is the Grand Summoner's Ezio. He's overall really top tier still to this day, even in Japan too, by the way. One of the best units in this entire game, and can dish out some tons, and I mean tons of deeps. He was actually one of the first units that was able to solo content because all of his skills, normal art and true art, apply iframes for him. So he is incredibly durable because of this. Not only that, with his true art being able to reduce enemies' art gauge by 40 and also increase damage to enemies by 50%, that is a multiplicative debuff, meaning that Ashe can hit really hard and also anyone on his team. You can imagine how nasty this is. If Ashe blinds and then you use your true art, that's a ton of damage. Let me just say too, Ashe is a unit that does need his true weapon to be uberly top tier because his true weapon gives him innate art gen and also plus 50% more crit damage. Next is Regulus. Regulus still to this day is S tier. In Japan I think he's fallen off to A tier. Actually I would say he's A tier right now in global too, or high A tier. He's pretty much a budget Vox. If you don't have Vox, this is pretty much your next best thing if you want 100% crit rate for your allies. This guy's still really good. I love him a lot. His 5-star magic, well his true weapon let me say, which is a 5-star magic. His true weapon is still one of the best 5-star magics for dark, just mono dark in general, and is even used still to this day on mono dark teams in Japan. His true weapon, what it does is it lowers dark resist by 50%, which is an incredible, I mean a huge damage buff for dark units. Feena is the next unit, still amazing, god tier. Like I love this unit personally. Being able to avoid all status elements except feint is huge, and the increased and the healing with 300 HP per second is ridiculous. Literally, you put Feena and another healer on a team and it's so hard for your team to die. Her slots are actually phenomenal for what she is. With her 4-star support slot, she's able to bring a lot to the table. You have Arc Ignite, you have Keon, you have a ton, and I mean a ton of options to choose from. Also, she is one of the units that do require her true weapon, the same thing with Regulus and Ashe. Feena does require her true weapon to be uberly top tier, but just having her at base is still going to benefit you. If you want to know what her true weapon does, her true weapon skill gives you a 50%, not 50%, I think it's 80% of the damage you take, right? Or 30%. If you want to know what her true weapon does, her true weapon, her skill allows you to, I think it's 30 or 50% of the damage you take, you will heal it. And this goes for everyone on your team. Not only that, her other ability on it is that whenever it's equipped by her, she gets innate art gen, so I think it's 1 to 2 art gen a second. Next we have Awoken Finn. Awoken Finn, still god tier, ridiculously OP, the most future-proof unit in this entire game, let me say. Finn doesn't matter if he doesn't do that much damage anymore. Finn still does decent stuff, but not only that, Finn really brings to the table the art gen. And the only way how this guy gets outclassed if they release like Finn 2 or Finn 3 at this point, because they released Dark Finn. And Dark Finn is the best art gener for mono dark. So Awoken Finn, overall, really top tier still, one of the best units in this game. Literally, the only way how someone's going to outclass him if someone comes along that's the exact same kit, or not even the exact same kit, just does something similar to what he does, but literally everything has to be buffed. Like, he has to give like 6 more art gauge, you know, 100% equipment damage and stuff like that. Because I'm not lying to you guys, Finn is extremely hard to power creep because of his kit and his equipment slots. All that stuff is just ridiculously OP. Also, let me say too, if you're pulling on this banner specifically for Finn, you should have selected him from your unit of choice ticket if you're new, and then if you're old, maybe you didn't get it some reason, or maybe you forgot you had it, because he's in the unit of choice pool, so you can get him from there. And this is the pick that of course I recommend you get. Awoken Rim. Awoken Rim, literally god tier still, used on any composition because of her debuff. You actually don't use it for damage, you use it more so for her debuff. Her normal art giving you the 35% attack and defense down is huge. That gives your team a ton of survivability. And not only that, the weak elemental by 40%. What this does is that if an enemy is weak to, let's say, fire, and he's an earth unit, right? So earth units of course are weak to fire. You use Rim's normal art, she lowers their fire resistance. And because of that, if you have fire units on your team, they deal a ton of more damage. And since she's on mono dark, you can use her alongside Regulus with his true weapon, and you can get a massive 90% dark resist down on a light elemental boss. And that is nasty, let me say. So overall, what do I think about this banner? Do I feel like you should summon? Do I feel like you should skip? What is it? I think this is literally one of the best banners this game has ever had. It's up there like top 3 banners in the game and really worth it. If you're planning on welling on the game, maybe you know you didn't well on Kill a Kill because you already had the units or something. If you are missing anybody from this banner, you should definitely well on. Except if it's like Anna or Jack, but any of the other units I definitely recommend. So this is an absolute summon. If you guys are free to play, do 1 multi on it, see if you get lucky, see if you pull Finn, Regulus, or Ashe. If you're welling, I say maybe go the full 3 steps, see if you get anything good. If you don't, you know, depends on how you feel if you should keep going or not. But yeah guys, it's gonna be it for the video, man. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Grand Summoners content on the channel. Tomorrow, depending on when I release this, I think I'm releasing this first, so tomorrow should be the Sasuke showcase, and then after that we should have the Ryuko and then all that good stuff. But yeah guys, thank you all for coming out. It's me, Boy OP, and I'm out guys. Peace.